It is 10 minutes past 5 and I'm doing a great morning drive, a Sunday morning. You know, sneaking out from your home Sunday morning at 5 o'clock, let me tell you this much. Starting up or firing up a GT3 is not a quiet task to perform. I have just pulled out my car and I've closed the garage and locked my house, etc. And I guess that both my son and wife are actually awake right now. But I prepared them yesterday, so let's fire up this engine again. Oh. And you start your first transportation with a proper banana. Get the energy going. I have some coffee with me as well. And you know, just relaxing, enjoying the morning ride, 20 minutes past 5, and just enjoy the engineering of Porsche. So I actually have a routine. Actually, the routine may change depending on which car it is, but with the GT3, I have my eye on two things. One thing is the oil temperature, and I try to stick below 2000 RPMs until I have hit 85 degrees. And also I'm looking at the tire pressure, since that's the area where I'm trying to learn how this car is performing. Beautiful morning. Starting out the ride, and you are alone. This is balsam for your heart, your soul. Being in your sports car early morning, the car is heating up. You know, you don't have to go crazy around the roads. You basically can keep your driving within the speed limits, but appreciating a sports car ride. And as I just brought along some coffee, just ate a banana, and oh, this is gonna be a nice morning. Ooh, coffee is good in the morning, I tell you this much. Here is the thing, I didn't select any random Sunday because last Friday it was midsummer, and yesterday and Saturday everybody in Sweden are basically hangover. And yesterday Sweden played in the World Cup, and guessing that they had a drink yesterday also. So this is a perfect day if you don't want to meet anyone. Don't think for a second that I'm gonna do my morning ride alone. Nah. Say hi to Johan. He's gonna join me for my morning ride, and in his beautiful Carrera T. give you GT3 perspective. Yes, it is a driver's car and nothing else. Remember that I complained about the noise levels and that you should never ever considering listening to music within the GT3. And the reason for that, it's only built for one purpose. It is built for this, driving. And if you are a driver's man, driver's woman, well, this is the sweet spot. It is a car that gives you that extra when you go out and perform the driving. Would I start with this Porsche if I haven't been driven anything before? Would I start off, you know, bang, buying a GT3? No, I would not recommend it. In the end of the 90s, I would most likely say, yeah, you know, could take a consideration to buy an RS, let's say a 964 RS. Well, for your viewers, back those days, these car wasn't that expensive. That would be a much appropriate choice if you wanted to learn how to drive. But the standard models in the Porsche segment are so good that it will take a long time before you can appreciate the drivability that you will get from a GT3. So I've been driving Porsche for 20 years, and this car teaches me how to drive. It's a teacher. Yes, you heard me right. This is a proper teacher. The car is much faster than I am, and that could involve me myself as a driver, and that's what I mean. It's that's why you don't have to, if you're a beginner and never driven a sports car, or perhaps never driven a Porsche, you know, GT3 wouldn't be my first choice or recommendation.
Sweden started to wake up and we reached the sea at Nynäshamn. We couldn't complain about anything. No traffic, the true privilege and honor to drive the two 911s. As two friends, we needed to sit down, reflecting of the morning drive and our cars. Lövhagens Café was at our disposal and we sat down for some breakfast.
So how did you like the ride, Johan?
It was nice. It was not hardly no traffic at all.
Agree.
So that's the perks of waking up at 5ish, something like that, in the morning, and then heading out, meeting up with friends.
And thank you for sharing, because it's so great to share the experience with someone. And
I agree.
Having these two beautiful white 911s cruising around on the B roads.
It doesn't hurt.
It does not hurt. Yeah, it does. And we switched car.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the GT3?
It's a lovely car. It's more of a car than my car, of course, but I like mine as well. They complement each other quite fine, actually.
They do. I agree totally, because the differences between these cars are not as huge as you...
On the paper it's huge.
Yeah, it is, but on the B roads?
No.
No, it's not.
Could keep up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is not a challenge.
But we didn't drive that fast.
No, we didn't.
So, but it's a lovely, two lovely cars actually. But
yeah,
I would like to see them on the track and see. Then I think the difference
will be much higher.
Yeah, but on the B roads, no. I think.
And you actually need more of the torque on the lower RPMs that your car provides.
Yeah. But the sound on that one, oh my god.
When I stopped, you know, when you drove my GT3, when I made these B-rolls, you know, we had to take, we actually made that shot twice. Not because I didn't have the possibility to film it, because I wanted to hear my car once more time.
You get goosebumps on your...
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, yes. The sound is better on the GT3, but on the other hand, the shares in your car, the 918 shares, way better than in mine. No question. By the way, these meatball sandwiches at Lövhagens are... You realize that we eat meatballs in Sweden, close to the ocean in Nynäshamn, on a Swedish YouTube channel.
You cannot get more Swedish than that, I think.
That's Swedish. Should we go to IKEA on our way home?
Of course.
Then we have to switch to a Volvo.
Yeah, and listen to ABBA.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing I play in my car.
Of course it's ABBA, nothing else. But actually, did you know, by the way, that top 5 exports from Sweden are music?
Yeah.
That is quite impressive.
Yeah. And football, not so much, yeah?
Football.
Let's not talk about yesterday.
Let's not talk about the championship, should we?
We have 2 German cars, and I kind of hate German right now, but I love their cars. I don't hate the Germans, but I when it comes to football, I don't like so much.
Let's say that they kind of threw us out the World Cup.
Yeah, it's a big possibility, yeah.
Yeah, we will not play 2-0 against Mexico. Nah. No, sorry for being a pessimist on our performance on the World Cup, but anyway, you couldn't address us as football fans, could we?
No.
Car fans, yes.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think we need, first of all, we're gonna get more traffic now. And perhaps we should we go through Stockholm, perhaps?
Could do that.
Yeah, but Porsche's in the center of Stockholm is like, I don't know, water in a wine cellar.
Yeah. I think we find some nice B-roads back.
Agreed.
And that's the fine thing when you're out driving this early. You just sit and drive and you end up somewhere. In this case, we ended up in Nynäshamn. Almost in Nyköping once, but we sorted it out.
That was a close one. Actually, that's a good idea. Should we take the ferry and hit over to Nynäshamn?
Yeah, we could do Nynäshamn.
Yeah, no.
Nyköping.
Nyköping.
Yeah, we could try that. That would be nice. Yeah. Or we take the ferry going over to Gotland.
And then we go Gotland in.
Yeah, that would be something.
From Nynäshamn, you can actually take the ferry to Gotland. And Gotland is the best racetrack in Sweden.
That's a possibility, but it's Sunday, I don't know. Yeah, maybe some other day.
I have to ask you a question, Johan. And it's about colors on the 911. Yesterday I shoot a movie that you will see further on my channel with all my options on my GT3. And I kind of stopped at the color, the white color. And figuring out if I was to specify my car from scratch, which color would I select on the GT3? And Johan, you know me about the colored calipers, so basically you can choose between red calipers or through 10,000 euros on the ceramic brakes, and then get yellow ones. Yellows ones, yeah. And what's your thought on the colors on the 911?
I think it's hard, but I like the white color.
Obviously,
because we're sitting here next to 2 white cars, and we both own 1 white car. So, but it's sometimes I think it's a bit boring. But then I look at it, and especially in the nighttime, then the white really pops, you know. And but of course, maybe next car would be some color, some sort. I don't know. It's hard. I love black cars as well. Hard to keep clean. But maybe a red one, I don't know. Red Porsche, is that okay?
It's always okay, but Carman red is, for me at least, much more better looking. looking at Miami Blue, you know, I got totally bananas when I had the 718 Cayman and the Miami Blue. And I thought, you know, that's the absolutely most beautiful color you can have on your sports car. And then just weeks later, remember the GTS with the Mexico Blue?
That was a totally different
color.
Yeah, color, and it looks similar on the paper, but so different.
Totally different.
And that destroyed the Miami Blue a bit.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Totally.
So I wouldn't go for Miami Blue. I know that you loved that color before, and when we saw it in the showroom as well. But I think it's a bit
greenish.
Yeah. It screams something that I don't know what it is.
But the funny thing, Johan, I kind of had the same thought yesterday regarding colors, and I ended up with white.
Yeah.
Again. And the main reason for that is, you know, the heritage. I mean, looking at the Porsche Motorsport and what they perform. I mean, all cars are white, and then obviously the teams are striping them up, obviously. But for me, at least, Porsche Motorsport color is white.
It is. And what do you think about striping? Would you consider striping your car, or?
It's for me also a tough one. I kind of like the GT3 compared to the RS because it doesn't have all these attributes on it. Yeah. It keeps the car clean. And from that perspective, I'm not sure that I would stripe my GT3. How about you?
I don't know. I'm a bit, you know what I said about the black guards we have on the cars. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but
yeah, the stone chips protection, the solid black ones in front of the fenders.
I thought it looked cool at the beginning, but now I'm not so sure. It looks better on yours than on mine, I think. I might even go back to the clear one.
Clear one, yeah.
And then, so that's what I would change to my car probably. And then, of course, it's too high, isn't it?
It is. I'm sorry to say, Johan, but your car is like a huge high building. Yeah. It's too high. You need to lower it minimum 1 centimeter.
I think we sit on the same level right now because your seats are a bit higher than mine.
Exactly.
So I think we have the same, eye level thingamajiggy going on there. But if I lower mine, I think it's not so much for the handling. I think it's just for the looks, actually.
Yeah, but the looks, you should not be underestimating the looks.
No.
It's very important to, the eye is as important as the performance of the car, at least in my case.
Yeah. I think it's more for your sake.
You might be right in that perspective. Anyway, are you up for a seat change?
I don't know. It's. I think the seats is the things that makes my car stand out.
Agreed.
From the other ones.
Agreed.
And I love the seats, and they look amazing, and I sit perfect in them, actually. The seating position is spot on. I think my body is a bit weird, but
yeah, it's a bit odd shaped. I agree.
I think they took my body shape and then he said, okay, we're going to make a chair for him.
Yeah.
And they made that one.
Yeah.
Because I could probably drive for days and not have any aches or pains or anything like that.
I wonder because so many times the bucket seats are addressed as, if you are going to use your car on a daily basis, don't select the bucket seat. I totally disagree. On both models that represents here, I could even considering my shares if it was a plain Carrera, because then you have the folding possibilities. Because sooner or later you will need to, address the possibility to use the rear side as
that's the downside of my shares.
Yeah, I mean yours. Luggage space on back are totally wasted.
Yeah, you can get something back there, but it's a bag or something like that. It's hardly. impossible, you know.
But the gentleman specifying my car, I mean, where he totally make the hugest collision on earth is when he has the folding bucket seats, right?
Yeah, and then
and the roll cage.
Yeah.
I mean, let me think that through. It could be practical to fold the seats to get more luggage department. So why don't put the roll cage there? Ridiculous.
Or maybe it just fitted him better, that chair. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because there is a difference between the chairs.
Agreed. We shouldn't judge him on that one. Agreed. But I would use the money. If it was a money question, I would definitely put the 918 bucket chairs and get rid of the Bose sound system that you cannot enjoy in a GT3 anyway.
And the cost difference is not that big, is it?
I think it is €1,000 or something.
And how much do they cost to buy them?
€10,000 at least.
For two? I hope.
I hope so. I have no idea. That's something I need to check out.
But I mean, I think it's too much to specify or buy new ones for that car. It's good enough. It's good enough.
It is really good shares. We are talking about getting some good or even better shares. I mean, we are on a margin here. Could we go back to the B roads? What is happening with Sweden? I think it was 2 new roads with brand new asphalt.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really great, and in the area I live, all roads are being redone. It starts to be a mecca in Stockholm for B-road driving.
And Sweden has some extra money to fix their roads because the roads have been quite terrible.
Agreed.
But now it was really nice. The thing is, when we go from here, I think you're gonna be behind me.
With the stone chips. So I think we should tell the audience what happened to your front window today.
It's cracked.
It's cracked. I throw a stone at him.
Yeah, it's those darn sticky tires you have.
Tires. I mean, we have done some slalom together, right? We have actually found out that the time difference today with modern road tires, what should you call them?
Yeah, I mean, all of them are street legal, of course, but it's standard tires.
What is
not standard tires?
What is standard tires? But let's see the R tires that I have. I'm not sure if that is called internationally, but in Sweden, if you have race tires, we call them R tires. And at slalom, I don't feel so much difference. And the first time I reacted on it was when I was at Gelleråsen, Johan, driving the GTS 911 GTS. The Michelin tires are really sticky.
It's so strange also because the standard Porsches, they come with 2 different kinds of tires.
Yeah, it's
Michelin and then Pirelli.
Pirelli, I think, yes. I haven't driven the Pirelli. Have you done it?
No. I think I was lucky to get the Michelin on mine.
Well, according to the performance I have experienced, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm not sure which one these exactly are on your car. What does it say?
Sport. What does it say?
No, but the question is if it is a...
Philips Sport 4S.
Is it 4S? Yes,
yeah.
That was my question. The 4S are extremely good. I could actually considering those tires on my car to get better wet possibilities, because you remember when we returned from the last slalom, I got a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And let's say I was more sideways in the corners than I was in a correct line.
That's nice sometimes, but it's not fast.
Yeah, exactly, but you want the grip. You don't want to go sideways because you feel that the tires are drifting with you. You want to go, how should I put it? You want to go control and feeling here is my limit.
Yeah, but I think that the GT3 will probably eat up the Michelin 4S. I think that our tires probably they can handle a lot more heat.
Much more heat. I actually checked it out.
Than mine, and I mean, this car actually, you know, massages the tires and make them really hot.
Agreed. Because I actually built tire pressure on the B roads.
Yeah.
I didn't do that much on, you know, going back 10 years with my first GT3, you know, the black one, 996 Mark 1. I never built tire pressure on the B roads. But when I entered the Nordschleife, I enter it with 0.7 or 0.8 in tire pressuring and returns after the first lap with 2.3, 2.4.
Yeah. But then how many years are that?
It's ridiculously, it's
15?
15 years plus.
And then at that time the tires were not that good.
No, that's my whole point, that the differences between the special tire today and the ones that comes with the standard 911 aren't that big different.
I remember you got this huge swelling on the one of the tires. That was quite scary.
It was really scary. Johan has actually been with me on the Nordschleife. I think, how many laps have you done with me? 80, 100,
something like that.
Yeah.
And a couple of tires.
And a couple of tires in the passenger seat. I'm surprised that you survived.
Yeah, me too.
And the heart condition and everything that you might have been getting out of sitting beside me on the Nordschleife.
And you were not driving slow either.
No, I was okay. The record for my car was 7:42, if I remember correctly. I think it was set by Walter Earl. And my fastest time, bridge to gantry needs to say, meaning that the entire straight was not counted, was 7:45. So.
And that is what kind of Porsche does that time right now? Is it Cayennes or Panameras?
I think it is the diesel Cayenne.
So, and I mean the tire has to be better. I mean, look at this. It's 500 horsepower. Yours had 360.
60? Yeah, I think so. 10 more than you have in your car. Less, sorry.
Yeah, and then and that chewed up the tires. That car.
It chewed up. But remember, I had some aggressive.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm not sure if I had toe in about a millimeter, 0.5 in the front.
It was a nice trip the first one time.
Yeah, it was.
That was before the age of film. Oh, you filmed as well down there, didn't you?
Actually, I did. I had a camera in the car. Yeah. I wonder where I have those videos. Remember, I lost the car. No, that was... Martin was in the car then. I lost the car in 200 kilometers an hour in Fuchsröhre and sorted it out. I think, and the time was 8:55, I think, including standing on the grass.
But Fuchsröhre for that car was not the best.
No.
You could hear the dampers bottoming out.
Yeah, I was so the compression.
Yeah.
Each time when I hit it, the lowest point,
that was the only scary part.
Yeah, because I was not on the wheels, because it was, you know, it's what's called, it says blizzards. What's the English words of things? I touched the body basically.
Yeah, you did. And it was you were running on the body of the car.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the best way to do it. But it's a demanding course.
It is.
And we survived. Thank God.
Unbelievable.
You saw some heavy crashes.
Absolutely. But I must say, Johan, that the way I drove when I was young, and especially before I became a father, I'm sorry, I'm not at that performance level anymore.
Probably same performance, but less crazy.
Remember when I tested out the Yokohama? And I figured out that I need to slide the car in 200 kilometers an hour before it gripped pretty well. I mean, how stupid was that just to test it? Ridiculous.
We were young. Now we're old.
Ridiculous idiots.
Now we like white-collared cars.
Start to love convertibles.
Yeah, convertibles. Next car is probably going to be PDK.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably not going to be a choice other than PDK.
Agreed. And remember the Cayenne diesel I had with the panorama sunroof, right? And I just said, okay, I got panorama sunroof. Today, if I look at a car, a sunroof is actually something I appreciate. And driving convertibles are actually being more and more interesting. Is that an age thing, or has the convertible become so good that they actually are drivers' cars? Or a combination, perhaps?
Combination, and then also, I mean, this weather in Sweden, this year at least, I mean, you're looking for convertibles right now. You can, and they're so good, you can drive it still in long into the autumn as well. As long as you have the heated seats and that cover for the back, I think that's standard for the...
What's it called? It's a wind protection shield or whatever.
So I think driving convertible right now is so much easier than it used to be. But anyway, you have this 500 horsepower GT3. Would you consider a convertible version?
Absolutely. Everything with no roof comes for me these days.
But is it just because of looks, or is it because of the engine and you know, all around it, or is it?
I think putting down the top is what you do is you add one more element to the driving, letting the nature coming into you, and all the wind noise and the smells and the it's closer to riding a bike, and it's and since the convertibles are much more drivable than they were 10-20 years ago, they feel solid as well. So you go into the corners and you
stiffness of the body. Yeah?
Exactly, the stiffness is so nice, and they turn in, and when you turn in a bit quick, you get this wind turbulence, raising the experience of going fast in a corner.
And you have the sound amplified and everything like that, and yeah, I like it. Probably live with it.
I kind of understand Ferrari. Remember what they did with, I think it was with the 458 Scuderia, whatever it's called. They made a convertible version as well. And they were right in the 50s. Remember what the first car, the Porsche 550, remember? No roof at all. I mean, that's an element that should be taken under consideration. Yeah.
That's true. So let's see, and let's hope that we can see the, what's it called, Speedster?
Yes,
soon?
Speedster, yeah, that would be, whoa. That's a GT3 convertible.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with that one. And it's going to be limited edition, probably.
Silly.
It's probably not going to be able to get hold of one.
No.
You need to have 5 other Porsches in your garage or something like that, and relative to the Porsche owners or whatever.
That's the problem, though. You and I represent drivers. We drive our cars. They are running every week, and we drive them, right? I mean, how many 911Rs has passed 1,000 kilometers? I think you can count them.
Yeah, it's a pity.
I mean, we are actually planning our services of the car. And I'm guessing that those kind of profiles don't get those special cars for reasons that I cannot understand. It has become an investment tool, not a driver's school tool.
Thing.
Exactly. I mean, where is the driving? Where is the experience of appreciating the German engineering at Porsche? The special edition cars has become a stock being traded at a stock exchange.
Yeah.
But instead of a stock exchange, we have these auctions taking place around the world for the wealthy people to buy and do their investments. Ridiculous.
So let's see how many Speedster Sweden gets. Probably not that many.
Let me do a quiz for you. I'm just going to grab my phone here because I emailed Transportstyrelsen. That's the guys that keep tracks on every car in Sweden. Okay? So what I did actually was to... give me a sec here, Johan. So I have all Porsches registered in Sweden.
Okay.
Isn't that interesting? So do you want to hear?
Yeah.
So looking at all the models up to included 1979, there is a total of 3,419 in Sweden. Remember, dear audience, we are only 9 million people in entire Sweden. That's less than London. So 3,419 vintage Porsches up to 79. And then from 1980 to 1999, we have 6,440.
911.
No, Porsche.
Porsches in
Just
total,
not
okay.
911, Porsche brand. And from 2000 to 2018, 16,825. And in total, Porsche registered in Sweden, I think this was a month ago or something, let's say May 2018, is 26,684. But now the interesting part. Remember that from 2000 to 2018 we had 16,825. But then take a look at numbers of Cayennes and Panameras. And the number of Cayennes registered in Sweden is 3,687. And Macan is 1,987. And Panamera 1,782.
I thought it was going to be a lot more.
Me too.
So you mean that the Macan and the Panamera is the car to buy if you go
From an investment point of view.
because they're so rare.
Here is a top tip if you are an investor. Don't buy the 911R, Speedster, Spider, GT models. Go for the Macan, go for the Panamera and the Cayennes, and leave the other ones to the people who want to drive them. That was a good one.
Yeah. And how many 911s then?
I didn't check.
You didn't check, okay. The Boxsters and the Caymans.
So roughly, if we say this is 2,000, 4,000, 7,500, roughly.
So it's 9,000 911s and Caymans.
No, totally was 26,000.
Okay.
26,684.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about from 2000 till today, it was roughly 7,000 Panameras, Cayenne, Macan. So
okay.
It's 9,000 something like that. 911s split up by Cayennes
from the millennium,
Yeah.
Cars registered from 2000 and onwards, 16,825, right? And of those, about 9,500 is not a four-door. I think that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
9 million people living here.
I'm a bit surprised about that. I thought that the Panameras and the Cayennes were was the cash cow, for the.
Most likely it is, but regardless, it's there is a lot of sports car being sold in Sweden.
Yeah.
And my point here is that I actually think that benefits when these special models is distributed all over the world. I mean, how many?
It would be nice to see how many percentage of the, total people living in Sweden
versus other countries.
Other countries, I think.
But how many Porsches are sold in London to start with? I think London is about 10 million people, something like that, in England. Do they sell 17,000 cars yearly? They might do. I don't know.
No, not yearly.
No, but for this millennium.
1,000 a year, roughly.
Yeah, 1,000 they do.
They do.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. I mean, I think Sweden sells 1,000 cars yearly. That's also interesting. How many Porsches is being sold? Oh, anyway, let's change subject. We can just agree on that we have a lot of Porsches in Sweden. To end up that discussion, Sweden is definitely, and I know this for sure, has the largest Porsche club with Porsche Club Sweden per capita. That I know for sure. Nobody can compare it. I think we have about 6,000 or 7,000 members.
We didn't see another Porsche today yet.
Agreed, but we saw totally 10 cars this morning.
It's always nice to drive when you meet a Porsche. Do they also wave to you?
I do. People start to wake up.
So what do we do now? Go down for a swim?
Yeah. Did you? How cold was it when you started up the car this morning?
It wasn't that cold. It's like, I don't think I checked even. But when we filmed that first film that we did,
Yeah.
the car said it was 21.5.
When I think I jumped into cars just after 5 o'clock, and I think it was 11.5 degrees. Anyway, that's time to round up. Do you want more coffee? Can I bring it for you?
Yeah, that would be great.